How are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you again, as I said, for speaking with me. I absolutely loved the movie. Loved it so much. It what a perfect, just young rom-com. It had a great balance of everything. So my first question for you is, how did you get involved in the movie?
Well, I received a script and I was like, okay, it's queer. I like that.
Yeah.
One, check. And then I read on and I was really taken by the love story. And I thought it was one, really funny, but also I loved that our story Crush didn't focus on a coming out story
Mhm.
and that it was about falling in love and being surprised about who you fall in love with. Um, and then I learned also that our writers, Kirsten King and Casey Rackham, are queer. And suddenly it made sense.
Yeah.
Suddenly the Gen Z humor and the fact that we make fun of ourselves like we were queer, like it landed on me. And I obviously said yes.
Yeah. I think though that's what made the story for me is nothing felt forced, nothing felt like it had been done before. Everything was new and the comedy in it, all of you guys, even the straight laced sarcasm, especially if you're AJ, who's just her facials had me dying. Like your facials throughout the entire movie and some of the scenes, I was just like, this is like I've had these facials before in these scenes. So for you, can you tell me a little bit how you were able to balance the obviously the verbal side of your comedy, but also your nonverbal side of your comedy?
Sure. I absolutely loved playing AJ. It was my first time playing an outwardly queer character, but also someone who plays a lot, like plays things very close to their chest, and is also mask um, and I think a lot of my facial expressions were just pure reactions because people are funny.
Yeah.
And then also to have, Paige, played by Rowan Blanchard, right next to me, asking the hard questions and like being very straight. Like I just had the best time in the world because I didn't have to say anything. All I had to do was react.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you liked it.
It played so well because some of the stuff that Paige said, I was just like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And I'd turn to your character, agent, and I just like, "Yep, her face is the entire audience's reaction to the comment." So I mean, how did you keep though so tight in those scenes and not burst out laughing, especially with Rowan is great. You two work so well against each other. So how did you keep it together?
I didn't all the time. Like, thank God for Sammy, our director. She cut that shit together. You know what I mean? Like, there were definitely takes that I laughed in. But like, I really enjoyed playing AJ, and I was in her head because also I think AJ's very cool, and like AJ, like trying to play it cool. Like, Paige is a crush, and so like spoiler, but Paige is a crush. So depending on who you are and AJ especially, like she played it cool, which is cooler than I would have played it. I would have been like, that's so funny, you're so smart. But she doesn't do that, and makes Paige kind of work for it, which is a really interesting aspect because she does, Paige then continues working for that relationship and has to prove it in the end, and that's nice. AJ kind of made Paige come to her, which is not something that I'm used to. I worked very hard.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing is like you don't even realize that Paige is making her work for it. And I don't think Paige even realized she's making her work for it. And I think that's what I love so much is, you don't AJ is like your mystery character. Like you think you know why she's in there, but you don't really know. And then the whole ending, as you said, spoiler alert, like she's the one that has a crush. It was just like, oh, you played that very well, like played it very well. But for you and Rowan, as I said, you two are fantastic in the movie together, the way you two play off each other and your chemistry. So is that something that was natural and instant from the very beginning, or as you guys, worked on scenes together, got to hang out more, it became a little bit more intense? Because as the movie goes on, it's you can see it from the beginning, but those are the scenes that really, I enjoyed the most were your two scenes.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I think it's definitely something that we fiddled with, and we also had to find exactly how much we wanted to play up as well, because we wanted it to be natural and to play in a high school setting, and to remember that like love stories in high school are kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like you're navigating so many emotions. Like you're putting together school projects. You are late to your next class. I'm skateboarding to school. I'm out of breath. You know, like these are all just little notes in the back of an actor's head, which I'm sure also Rowan had in the back of her head, of like, how much what am I saying without saying anything? And I think that plays really well with our banter as well. And that's what is kind of hot, is that you have two strong, funny, smart female leads playing off of each other, and it's like, who's going to win the argument? And that's what we did a lot of work on with Sammy Cohen, our director, is like, you can't, like, I shouldn't be playing to the end of the film because spoiler, I kind of am the one who forces Paige to get on the team. Like I'm the catalyst for that decision. So what we play and what we don't play was very important to Sammy. And we got also very different takes. Like some takes were me like genuinely pining over her. And suddenly in the edit though, it doesn't work because you have to hold out. It's the slow burn of it all as well. And all of that I have to thank Sammy for, because I would have blown it in the very beginning. I would have been like, hey, I like you. Date me? We would have ruined the film. Would have ruined it.
Was there a particular take though that didn't make the movie that you had hoped would have, or you're glad that it didn't make it?
I'm very pleased with our film. I think it's paced very well. I mean, we have also a stacked cast. We have Rowan Blanchard, myself, Isabella Ferreira, Rico Paris, Tyler Alvarez, Tila Dunn, Addie Wyrick, with Asif Manvi, Michelle Buteau, and Megan Mullally. I enjoy playing definitely the straightness and not the straightness, sorry, redacted, never the straightness, but the kind of deadpan humor that AJ has. Whereas like Michelle Buteau had me laughing with every single take. And that is her own superpower, so there's different humor. I think a lot of people will find just different tidbits that they enjoy from each character. But all in all, we are our fullest versions of ourselves in this film, and that's also something that comes with pride, and pride also meaning queerness. Like it's fun to play whole queer characters that are camp.
Well, I think there's one character that I wish I'd seen a little bit more interaction between your character AJ and her, was Paige's mom, who was played by Megan. Just the humor from her and your humor, that's the one little tidbit I wish we had seen a little bit more of, because we got the one scene with you guys and I was like praying, come on, give me more. So just filming that one scene though, how great was that? And both you and Rowan's like basically reactions are A+.
Thank you. I love that scene. Behind the scenes, what you didn't know from that was that we were filming in upstate New York. So we were in Syracuse and there were bees, and there consistently had been like bees flying in and out of the car, like as we're driving up to this, or as Paige and Megan Mullally were driving up to the school. And it was so funny because suddenly there was like this pacing to the scene that was just frantic. Like Paige wants to get out of the car. I'm like, what's wrong? And mom is like trying to drop hints of like, yeah, my daughter's free and single, and every single take, Megan would do something different. And Tyler as well. Tyler Alvarez is such an instinctual actor that he really adds so much humor to a scene, and they just built off of each other. So truly, I'm just walking up to the car and being like, hi. But all of the before that had me in stitches. But the hardest part of my acting was not laughing. I swear to God.
I can't imagine trying to film this movie with with everyone that you guys have had in it, and just how much fun it was. And filming in, Syracuse, that had to have been such a blast. So what was it like offset for you filming, when you guys were done? Would you guys hang out? I know COVID was a little bit probably involved and restrictive, but what was offset like for you and the team?
Yeah. Well, one, very grateful that we could have made a film during the pandemic. Like,
Mhm.
incredible. We had COVID officers. We had a wonderful woman named Betty who tested us every day on set. She was sweet, and we weren't really allowed to hang out much off set, which
Mhm.
made the time on set, like, honestly, all the more precious. But we also stayed in the same, like, hotel room, or hotel, like,
Yeah.
hotel, not hotel room. But we would, like, see each other in the lobby and be like, oh, do you want to eat outside? And so we would hang out pretty consistently,
Yeah.
and it was super fun. And it's nice to have a cast also that's young in age, and all around, like, kind of the same age.
Mhm.
And that queerness brought us together, and knowing also how important this film would be, like, it's refreshing, it's new, it's a rom-com that doesn't have any residual trauma for its, like,
Yeah.
a cast. Woo! Like, people come out of it happy, and we
Yeah.
knew that would be important. So it was really fun. And then to have it be in Syracuse, like, it's a sweet town that we shot at American High, which makes a lot of really incredible films that
Mhm.
make me laugh. And yeah, overall, I do it again.
Well, for my final question for you today, what are you hoping fans get from the movie?
Oh, so many things. I hope they laugh. I hope by now you know that people are gay. Like, if you didn't know before, now you know.
I have a lot of questions in it.
They're gay. And I I I hope people take away that, like, first crushes in itself are all encompassing. Like, when you see someone that you have a crush on, as Tyler says in our film, does it look like she's walking in slow motion? Like, are fireworks exploding behind her? Yes. And that is what a first crush feels like.
Mhm.
But first love can sometimes be different. And to know the difference between infatuation and love, and telling people that you have a crush on them, and then getting to know also that person, like, that's where love comes in. And take your time with it. But also, when you know, you know.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And I'm so excited for everyone to see the movie because I think they're going to love it, if not as much, most likely more than I did. So
Thank you
thank you
very
so
much.
much.